Aloha! I am Juliet Butters Doty, and this is Astrology Now Maui, bringing you the latest in the planetary updates. Right off the bat on November 1st, we have a new moon in Scorpio at 9 degrees, and for us here in Hawaii, it'll be at 2:27 a.m. Scorpio is ruled by Mars traditionally, so there will be strong Martian energy. But now in modern times, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So we have a grand cross that's involved. And in actual fact, it's a cornerstone moment for our civilization. In fact, that sounds rather big, and it is. So this grand cross consists of Mars in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn, both at 29 degrees, which is like a crisis degree in any particular sign. So it's Capricorn and Cancer. I'm just going to run through briefly what's going on, and then I'll get into the detail. So we have asteroid goddesses involved with this grand cross, Juno and Astrea, opposite Hygeia and Eris. These feminine goddesses are certainly instilling their voice in this grand cross. And then in the mix with the new moon itself, we have Jupiter in Gemini, opposite Venus, and Pallas Athene, both in Sagittarius. So meanwhile, remember, while all this is going on during the new moon, the base note of everything happening is that Pluto is still in Capricorn at 29 degrees. It's a big deal. He won't be back there for another near 248 years. So Pluto essentially is transforming us, pushing us, urging us strongly at this point to eliminate anything that stands in the way of our evolution, yours, mine, everyone's. And so this involves the past, what's traditional, what's toxic, all that shadowy material that no one wants to talk about or admit, control issues by others or ourselves, anything that has been emotionally hidden away or locked down. Pluto wants it to be brought out into the light now. So now I want to talk a little about the aspect of Mars in Cancer opposite Pluto, both at this 29 degrees, Mars, Cancer, Pluto in Capricorn. There's a stark reality with the Mars in Cancer of the wounded masculine, which is confronting the toxic and very patriarchal past represented by Pluto in Capricorn. So no two ways about it. Upheaval and infernal energies are set to boil as the pressure increases. Even now, I'm recording before November 1st, the pressure is there, and it's going to increase riding towards November 3rd when this aspect will be exact. And again, as a reminder, because I did mention it in past moons, that we will experience this opposition early January 2025 and again on April 26th of 2025. So just know that we are all in a process over the next 8 months of revealing what has been hidden within ourselves, within you and me and everyone. And interestingly, of course, we all know we have the build-up of tensions with the US elections simultaneously, whose results will affect the world stage at large. I mean, you cannot make the astrology up. It's amazing. So I've got questions for you. Where have we, you and I, not nourished ourselves, parts of ourselves, singular or plural, where instead we chose to tough it out or lock it down, put it under the mat, never to be shown? Internal suffering becomes external destruction, manifesting in anger, shadowboxing, even a cool to sometimes chilling detachment, leaving ourselves not present in real terms. And that's just a little bit. And so where else can you internally reconcile your shadow and your true self? What have you suppressed? How can you truly forgive all the parts seen out there in the world that we get triggered by, whilst knowing the same resides within our very selves? That's a hard one. So in this grand cross that I've been describing, the goddesses are standing square to the Mars-Pluto opposition, which creates and makes up this grand cross. It's one of the hardest aspects in astrology. So we're looking at a rock-solid initiatory dynamic that demands much from all of us to evolve up to the next level. The goddesses are instilling a strong reminder to return to the core power of the self, represented by Hygeia, who's the daughter of Apollo. Hygeia is the source of life force itself and is quiet behind the scenes in general, yet she has an awesome power. She connects into our health, which then correlates, of course, into the environment and the Earth's health. So we're all one, remember? Nothing separate. So if she's affecting our health, it affects the environment and the Earth. So she is our very own reservoir of pre-existing skills and power. And she is joined by Eris, sitting right next to her. Eris heralds chaos and discord. She's the goddess of that. And she is the sister to Mars. And she demands, quite literally, supreme integrity together with ethical fairness and respect. She will not stand for spiritual bypassing or demonizing of the feminine. She's pretty hardcore. She means business, and she's fighting for it in the sign of Aries. So next we have Juno, who stands opposite both Eris and Hygeia in Aries, opposite, so they're going to be in Libra. And so Juno is sitting with Astrea. So I'll speak about Juno first. She is the wife of Jupiter, and she embodies grace and benevolence. She sits well in her own power and offers the harmonics of equality and commitment. Astrea, daughter of Zeus, sister to Athena, is a purist at heart, but she exudes bold creativity and really shoots for justice. She has an incredible focus. These feminine goddesses, therefore, because I've been talking about 4 or 5 of them actually, are with us in the fight to heal, to nourish, to find the integral high road, remembering the heart within, holding faith and hope, to find the free flow within the madness that we're all experiencing, to pull back from the chaos and dive within our very selves for the solace and the peace to heal. All in all, it's a call for us to step up to our next level as a species, to move into greater love. It's a pretty big deal. So next aspect that we have in this whole new moon on November 1st, Jupiter in Gemini sits opposite Venus and Pallas Athene in Sagittarius. Venus is the current ruler of our past emotional habits, our karmic history as a species, suggesting to hone our relationship, Venus, to your truth and focus, Pallas Athene, because they're both in Sag, and Pallas is about focus, on your new project or goal. That's Jupiter. So trust your intuitive self, Jupiter, driving with focus through the multitude of ideas, that's Jupiter in Gemini, lots of ideas, that you've sourced, and to then get on with what's yours and focus on it. So the next piece that's happening is we've got a beautiful grand water trine, Neptune, Mars, and Mercury flowing together, offering a fluid online tap to source. We're tapped in so that we may speak our minds and take the necessary action if we're connected, and taking the action needed during these intense times. Chiron, actually, I didn't mention, is still in the mix, sitting very closely to Eris, and they're both in Aries. So there's a maverick energy there, the two of them together, that can act out impulsively and in warrior style, possibly leaning towards aggression at times, because remember, we got the Mars opposite Pluto. So the pure intent is to claim oneself and pioneer with confidence, even as Mars is in Cancer, and that can be quite volatile. So remember, the Mars is opposite Pluto, as I said, is very active and aggressive. So remember your mindfulness practice, your sadhana in each moment, and your ability to surrender into the power of your knowing. When you get triggered, breathe. Trust your deep stillness. It'll be useful for sure. There is great resolve there for you deep within. So that's where we go when we're triggered. Life is not determined by what it apparently looks like. Be conscious of when you are unconscious and bring yourself back using your awareness muscle. Hold your heart open and intend to love more, to grow. This is what we're up against right now. So it's a choice. Your muscle to keep your heart open will strengthen with each choice to breathe through and change your reaction to an action using love. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is simple. So it's just remembering. So call on the goddesses, just one, or call on all of them. They're there to help. We're never alone. So it's time to write your own story and not be influenced by the external world. So what are you going to write? So our next cycle will be the full moon in Taurus, preceded by a stationing Saturn turning retrograde. So that'll be strong. So we've got 2 weeks until then. So there's never a dull moment. We know that at this point. So tread gently as you go. A hui ho.